pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, we have meeting minutes from May 7th. Everybody have a chance to read them?
Yep.
Any changes? No? Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the non-public meeting for May 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Now I make a motion for consent agenda.
He made a motion to approve it, so, and we need to add the payroll. I'm sorry, yeah, payroll.
Make a motion that we add the payroll.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Is there a motion to a motion?
Yes.
Yes. For the original motion? Aye. Okay. Public input. Anybody care to share? Michael?
I'm all set for now, and I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, first item on our agenda is the Energy Commission and Grid Energy contract approval for community power. Bob?
Where's good energy? Weren't they going to be here? Are you good energy?
Yes, we
You're
are.
dressed so nicely, I didn't expect that. I think we're just here to approve, giving the town manager authority to approve the community power plan, or to sign off on the contract. So we have 2 dates coming up. We have a pre-bid coming up that the town manager will need to be present for. And then actual contract day when we get the bid, and she'll need to sign on that day.
So for the benefit of Mark and Jim, who weren't here when we initiated the
Oh,
process
gosh.
2 years ago, could you give
So the
them
community power
a
plan,
summation?
we got this, 3 years ago? It'll be 30 months. We get a 30-month plan. We went in with Keene, Marlboro, and Wilton to purchase power together. We got a set rate. I think the default was like 11 cents at the time. There's different rates depending on whether there's a basic rate that's even below 11 cents. And then there's rates if you want to be 50% renewables or 100% renewable. So we're basically getting the same contract again. We just don't know what the price is until the pre-bid day. And it's basically the same thing as we've had all along. We've got about 2,000 people, as far as I know, the last time still enrolled in the community power plan, even though Eversource is giving us a cheaper rate right now. The whole idea behind community power was not necessarily just about a cheaper rate, but it was also about guaranteeing a rate for 30 months so that constituents could plan and know exactly how much they were paying, and they didn't have to change every 6 months like Eversource does. Or every month like the Cheshire County Community Power Plan does, which is why we didn't recommend that. So tonight, it's just, unless you have questions for these gentlemen who put up the plan, there's really nothing that's changed. The one question I had was, is there going to be some sort of notification going out, like when we did the initial rollout of the plan, where people know that we're having a new rate and all that?
Yes, Bob. We will.
And that's something you guys do yourselves?
Yes.
That was our one question from the Energy Commission, was just that so folks know that the plan is still in existence. There are people that are in it are going to be rolled right in. We won't have it automatic opt-ins though this time like we did when we started.
Anybody who's in the plan will be rolled over into the new term.
But anybody who bailed out will have to re-enroll at any time.
That's correct.
They won't automatically be opt-in like they were at the beginning of the plan.
No, at the end of the period, whoever is in the plan will be rolled over. Anybody who wants to come into the plan can opt in from the website or next phone.
And you guys,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
It would be helpful if one of the three of you could just explain the dynamics of the program. Mark and Jim weren't here, and Sue wasn't at the table when we went through the process almost 3 years ago. So it would be helpful if they understood the opt-in, opt-out,
Sure.
And what the four.
Sorry, I just jumped right in because we've been doing this, you know. But when we first rolled the program out, everybody in the community was automatically opted in. So you were automatically enrolled, and at that time you were paid 22 cents a kilowatt hour. Nobody cared that they were automatically opted in because we were getting half price.
So Eversource's rate was 22 cents.
At the time, which was one of the reasons, another reason why we went with the community power plant. And so we locked in that 11 for whatever it was, and then Eversource dropped. I mean, like 8 months ago, dropped to 80 cents. So a lot of people bailed. We still have 2,000 people. So they won't have an automatic opt-in like we did when we rolled out the program. So the 2,000 people that are in it now will automatically be enrolled. And everybody else in the community will be notified about the community power plant, and it still exists, and this is the new rate. There's no cost to enroll, no cost to disenroll. You can enroll and disenroll once a month if you want, and it's not going to cost you anything. I hate to be on the phone doing that once a month, but so there's no cost to the consumer. What it basically does is it locks in a price for residents of Swanzey, and they can take it or not. And if you have any questions,
By the new contract, it doesn't automatically put everybody back into the pool now.
no.
It's only gonna be the 2,000 people that we have in there, right? Right? And then now, people have the option to opt in, right? Okay. But originally, when this started, everybody was in the pool. And people had to opt out, is that how it worked? And people had to leave.
Everyone who was on the basic service of Eversource was put into the program. If anybody picked a third-party supplier, they weren't put into the program.
What would be the reason behind not putting everybody back in again? Is it not possible? I mean,
Well, because once someone has opted out, they've made that decision. For them to come back in, they have to make an affirmative decision.
yeah, I see.
Could you explain the four levels?
Maybe you guys could explain it better than me. I know there's 4 levels. I don't know exactly the basis.
You mean the product options?
Yeah, we have 4 product options. They're basically, we have them all out on the website. We're gonna have to update the website too. So that's another thing. Sorry.
Essentially, at this point, you have what's called Swanzey Standard, which essentially is what everybody is put into at the beginning of the program. Okay. Then you have what's called Swanzey Basic, which is a drop down from the extra 10% energy in Swanzey Standard.
So the bottom level is 25% renewable. The second tier is 35%, right? Or the Swanzey Basic is 35%.
The Swanzey Basic has no additional renewable energy in it, whatever is required by the state.
Well, can we start and just go tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 instead of the names? So tier 1 is the cheap plan.
All right, you're talking about Swanzey Basic, that's the cheapest, that's the least expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an option. Okay, the standard is the next, and that's the one that everybody is enrolled in at the beginning of the program, and it's usually stay in. That's where most people stay. Then you have 50% additional.
Tier 3.
Right,
Yeah.
tier 3, okay, Swanzey 50. That's a little more expensive because usually people who want renewable energy are not concerned with price as much as they are with environmental concerns. And then you have Swanzey 100, which is the total renewable energy product. So there's a product for everyone who wants to be in the program.
So the 2,000 people that are in there are gonna be level 2 then, where you would.
Or whatever they pick. We actually have.
When it starts, you start, right, we all start at the standard.
No, I think the 2,000 people will
They
remain.
get rolled over into whatever product you're in.
And again, you can change anytime. So, and I'm pretty sure it was the lowest level is 25% renewable, which is the state requirement. We tacked on 10% for Swanzey Basic, which was 30, or this next tier, which was 35, and then we got 50% on 100%. So,
The basic is 25, standard is 35.
I don't know if we're calling it basic or standard, where I was tier 1 is 25, tier 2 is 35. It's all on the website, it all explains it really well there. I can just never remember what
contract that's ending in December, because it's a good market right now. So we're doing the renewal now. It'll take effect in December. There won't be any public information on that until probably September, October, as we get closer to that date, because we don't want to confuse people with a different rate. And essentially, you know, that's the way all the marketing will come out toward the end of this first contract in December. And then it'll roll over in December on the meter read date.
So it'll come out, the marketing collateral will go out sometime in September. So
It'll start in September. We'll obviously be in touch with Bob and his committee to approve anything that goes out, and then we'll start the roll-up into the next contract.
And when the first rollout occurred, there was quite a bit of communication, people not knowing who to call, and there was quite a load at town hall. Will that be impacted more effectively this time?
Yes, it will.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Mark? Jim? No? Good. Sue? All right.
We just need to double check and make sure, I know she's new, got a lot on the plate, but she needs to be at these 2 meetings if we get.
She has it on her schedule.
Okay, great, cool.
Okay.
You can make that motion.
I'll be at both meetings. Well, don't make a motion.
Right.
Make the motion to authorize the town manager to sign the contract for electricity supply to renew the Swanzey Community Power Board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
John, Steve, thanks very much for coming in.
Nice to meet you.
If you have our remarks, if you have any questions, please call.
Would you refer some to us at the committee, or would you, it's just stuff and something?
What's that?
Could we get on the side of the talking? Thanks, guys.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the review of the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources proposal for the rail trails improvement. Everyone have a chance to read it?
Move to accept the grant agreement of the State of New Hampshire Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, the Region of Parks, Recreation Bureau of Trails, and allow the town administrator to sign the agreement with certificate of authority. Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Who would I ask questions to? I had questions. Who would answer me? Nobody?
It's all in the document.
I didn't know Joe was standing in for that.
No. So we're asked to make an announcement of the airport event this Sunday, the 18th at 9 a.m. There's a runway 5K where people run along the runway, and then an open house at the airport that extends to 2 o'clock. We have a donation from the Swanzey Lake Association Memorial Bench, DPW Director Joe Russo.
Yes, so the Swanzey Lake Association contacted me a while back, actually, about doing a memorial bench for Mr. Stratton, and kind of grew legs from there. There was a lot to look into, everything from the New Hampshire Dam Bureau, because it's going to be on one of the embankments of the dam. We checked with Cordell about it. Mud Windsor is currently waiting to hear back from L-Chip. That's the last thing that's holding it up. It's going to be a granite bench, like you'd see a granite landscape type bench. The only thing I made them change is they're looking to make it permanent with a stone base. The Dam Bureau wouldn't want a stone base on the embankment. But they're going to install it so it can easily be removed. It'll be in a good place there as you're looking at Swanzey Lake Dam on the right side of the embankment by the boat landing. And they actually intend on removing it in the winter time. So the last thing we're just waiting to hear on is the L-chip approval, and I wanted to bring it to the board's attention that they were looking to do this. I don't see any negative impact on it.
So Swanzey Lake Dam, the one we gotta eventually rip all up,
Yeah,
right? So if that happens, they move the bench, they take it out, and
bring it back,
So
yeah.
who is this person?
Swanzey Lake Association.
Who is the?
Bud Windsor's the driving force behind it. He's
He's
the one
lucky
who
lives around the lake.
He lives on the lake, yeah.
And he's still alive?
Yeah, and the bench is to memorialize Mr. Stratton. I don't recall his first name.
He was very active.
Yeah, he's always on the bowl landing, very active, so they thought it was appropriate.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, then the other thing that I know it wasn't brought, it come up just recently, the North Winchester in California Street project was starting. Some of the work's going to start right away, some of the signage, erosion control. There's a need to put a job trailer somewhere with signage on it. The contractor's looking to use the Mills parking lot as a staging area, but the job trailer really needs to be closer to the job, partly because of some of the grant requirements of the sign. And there was some talk about putting in an AA park. Once again, I don't see an issue with it. They're not going to park equipment down there or anything like that. They may have a portable bathroom there and a job trailer, but I wanted to get the board's input on if you saw any issues with putting it there. There's really nowhere else in those two roads to put it.
We're talking about the, right before the bridge.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to look at it, because I was at that meeting with you, but there's a basketball hoop in the corner.
Yeah.
Where would you put it, in that corner?
You'd have to, that's the big,
Is that our property, the grass behind that?
No,
Oh.
no, the property comes right up to the.
So paved.
Yeah, the
So
only
where
impact.
is that basketball hoop?
It gets used, I don't see it get used that often, but it does get used, but there would be an impact on the basketball court. But unfortunately, there's really nowhere else to put the job.
Unfortunately, that's only spot down there that could really fit too. Because I just figured I'd go and take a look at it since I heard it. If you're good without the basketball hoop, we can do it.
My days are long gone.
Yeah, you don't want to play basketball with me.
Oh, I do.
But I think it's a good location for it, no doubt. It's central, located. They were talking about putting the sign there, Joe, too, right, the big construction
Yeah, it's
sign.
required for the grant, and it'll be out, fall goes well, it'll be out by late summer, early fall.
So sorry, is there a sign to the construction that's going to happen on California Street?
I don't know if much I said.
Yeah.
Is this a different item that it wasn't on the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just brought it up, because
It's just an update. He brought it forward previously. Thanks, Joe.
thank you.
Sorry,
Sorry.
why? You weren't here. How would you know?
What about the blinds?
Boy, has it.
One second that.
Second.
All in favor? We've discussed forming a water, a new edition of the water study committee that we did in 2024, but we haven't officially made notice that we'd like to form that committee. So could we have a motion to that effect?
I move that we establish a public water supply committee to research the purchasing and improvements of the West Swansea Water Company.
Second.
And this is in relation to bringing something forward for the 2027 warrant. All in favor?
Aye.
We've already discussed,
No.
okay, so this particular motion is to clarify our formation of the governance committee. And we did discuss with Adam Paquette the creation, well, not the creation, but the filling of the seats on the TIF district advisory strictly prohibit any discussion of zoning and land use planning. Because if we got into any discussion, we'd have a planning board forum. There's so many members of the planning board who want to participate. All right, has already done that?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Administrative update. What have you got for us, Sue?
Cover that last one.
Just kidding.
Right, so
So last week, we didn't realize it, but we didn't have audio for a significant portion of the early part of the meeting. So we wanted to make note that we did dissolve the previous, we did dissolve the West Swanzey TIF committee, and that was a committee that was formed to educate the public with regard to, and work collaboratively to create a TIF district and educate the public on the importance of that district, which fortunately they succeeded. We awarded the participants a certificate and thought we were being publicly noticed, but it wasn't, the volume wasn't on. So I just want to acknowledge those members: Kathy Bergstrom, George Nicoforakis, Steve Biddle, Scott Self, John Holden, and Keith Tebow.
And Jimmy Tempesta.
Oh, and Jimmy Tempesta. And thank them graciously for their work on that. They put a great deal of effort into it and were very successful. In addition, we had a donation from residents to the recycling center for the creation of a guard shed, and that was Brian and Jen Rogers. We greatly appreciate that. The materials were delivered by Hampshire Lumber, and just waiting on Josh to have time to put it together. So thank you to Brian and Jen. Public input, Michael. Last shot at it before we go on.